The role of the government in a mixed market economy. In a mixed market economy, that is an economy that has both influence and direction from the private sector and the government sector, the government has a fairly significant role to play. Its role includes, but is not limited to, regulating business, stabilizing the business cycle, redistributing income equitably, and the provision of goods and services. The regulation of business is an aspect of the economy that the government addresses heavily. The government alters the economy by protecting consumers, to making sure they aren't being ripped off, making sure warranties are abided by, that sort of thing. The controlling of natural monopolies, making sure that prices do not get ludicrously high. This can be done through a price ceiling. And lastly, the government handles externalities, both positive and negative. These can include taxes in relation to the environment, for example, the dreaded carbon tax. The government seeks to stabilise the business cycle to avoid periods of huge inflation rates, economic depressions, and an effort to maintain consumer bravery. The government can do this in three main ways. Fiscal policy, which is the government expenditure and revenue collection to influence and guide the economy, changing tax rates during a depression, for example. Monetary policy, which is the government controlling the supply of money. This can be done through the Reserve Bank. And microeconomic reform, which is policies that help the economy become more efficient. The redistribution of income is possibly the government's most known for impacts on the economy. This, put simply, is income tax. The government taxes its people in order to gain revenue and keep the economy relatively equitable. The government steps in to protect the economically weak by redistributing income through taxation, taxing the rich and giving to the poor through the form of welfare. Interestingly enough, this is where the largest percentage of the government's revenue comes from, and fortunately enough, where the largest percentage of the money is spent. The provision of goods and services is where the government steps in to aid the private sector in providing public goods and services. The public good provided by the government is the Defence Force. There are other private military forces, however, the government provides the major one. They usually finance these provisions through taxation.